Welcome. On May 31, 1921, one of the worst incidents of racial violence in American history occurred in the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma. This event, now known as the Tulsa Race Massacre, resulted in the destruction of a thriving black community and the deaths of hundreds of people. The Greenwood district was a prosperous and thriving community known as Black Wall Street. It was home to many black-owned businesses, including banks, theaters, restaurants, and stores. It was a place where African Americans could thrive and build their own community. However, the prosperity of Greenwood was seen as a threat by some white residents of Tulsa, who resented the success of the black community. Tensions between the two groups simmered for years, and in May of 1921, a young black man named Dick Rowland was accused of assaulting a white woman named Sarah Page in an elevator. This accusation led to a mob of white residents gathering at the courthouse where Rowland was being held. A group of armed black residents arrived to defend him, and shots were fired. This was the spark that set off the violence. Over the next 18 hours, mobs of white residents attacked the Greenwood district with guns and explosives. Buildings were burned to the ground, and black residents were beaten, shot, and killed. The official death toll is estimated to be around 300, but the actual number may be much higher. In the aftermath of the massacre, the survivors of Greenwood were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered community. Many were left homeless and without work, and the long-term effects of the violence were felt for generations. Survivor 1. I was just a little girl when it happened, but I remember the fear and the chaos. My family lost everything in the massacre, and we had to start over from scratch. Survivor 2. It's important that we remember what happened here. Our stories need to be told, and the world needs to know the truth. Descendant of survivor. My grandfather survived the massacre, but he never talked about it. It wasn't until I was an adult that I learned what had happened to him and to our family. It's a part of our history that we can't ignore. Historian 1. The Tulsa Race Massacre was a turning point in American history. It showed the depths of racial violence and hatred, and it revealed the fragility of progress towards equality. Historian 2. The destruction of Greenwood was a deliberate act of white supremacy, designed to crush black economic and political power. It was an attempt to maintain the status quo of racial oppression. Narrator. Despite the horrific nature of the Tulsa Race Massacre, it was largely ignored by the media and the government at the time. It wasn't until decades later that the truth about what happened began to be widely known. Narrator. Today, the Greenwood district is still rebuilding and working to reclaim its status as a thriving and prosperous community. The survivors and descendants of those affected by the Tulsa Race Massacre are still fighting for justice and reparations. Activist 1. We can't forget what happened here. We can't move on until we acknowledge the past and make things right. Community leader. The rebuilding of Greenwood is not just about physical buildings. It's about rebuilding a sense of community and a sense of pride in our history. Narrator. The Tulsa Race Massacre was a tragic and brutal event that shook the country to its core. It serves as a reminder of the ongoing struggle for racial justice and the importance of telling the stories of those who have been silenced. Narrator. We must remember the past to build a better future. Thanks for your concentration. Don't forget to subscribe, Mr. FU. Take care. Goodbye.